Welcome back to Channel 2 News. I'm here with employee 42069. What do you feel about the allegations?
Against me or against my employer?
Against your CEOs, yes.
Well, I think they're completely founded in complete facts and logic. I can't really discuss too much without going into detail as per my lawyer's recommendation. But yeah, I want to say that they are lying scoundrel thieves that steal everything they can from you.
I see.
And will chew you up and leave you out a soulless husk. But, you know, like I said, I can't get into too many details.
That's fine. Is it true that they're actually from the lizard race trying to take over the humans?
You know, I'm not allowed to say, but
you are currently nodding.
I can't say that I'm not nodding.
Just for the listeners at home, I see someone nodding, and we're the only two people here, so I'll let you piece that together however you will.
Thank you. You know, there's something you can't say too much because they monitor all of the airwaves and the brain waves. Can't even think. It's thought crimes. You know, that's how they get you, is the thought crimes.
Okay. So that's what all of the brain implants were for, so they could read your thoughts. I see.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So can I ask why you took this job?
Fuck, man. I don't want to starve on the street.
Yeah, that is fair. You know, if it's between dying and getting a brain implant, that takes away all your freedom.
It's better than fucking dying of dysentery in the street, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your time. This has been Channel 2 News. Back to you, young Rich.
Continuing tonight on Two C's in a Pod. 96.7 on your... Two C's in a pod, 2 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 C's in a pod, because we're 2 C's in a pod, just like 2 C's in a pod, 2 C's in a pod at gmail.com.
That's right, folks. You heard it here. Working with 2 C's in a Pod, better than dying. I'm Cam LeClaire with my co-host and best friend, Cameron Osborne.
My name is Cameron Osborne. I'm over here. Thanks for tuning in for another week of the show, because as 2021 continues on, and just like the ever-lapsing time, our show continues on into the future as well.
That is right. It's another week, another Monday for you folks. It is the last Monday of the month. Are you doing a sober January? Well, you only got one more week left. How's January treating you, bud?
January's been a I'm gonna say a nothing month for me. Very early on, of course, you celebrate. You know, I mean, well, I guess technically the night before you do celebrate the new year, but then after that, I've got nothing much going on. It was my dad's birthday. It's my dad's birthday on the 2nd of January, and then after that, there's no other kind of events that I really look forward to. There's no game. Or a sport. I guess the Royal Rumble is at January 31st, you know, squeaking it in there on that last possible day. January's kind of one of those months I just kind of let fly by me, you know?
I hear you, man. It's one of those ones, and I always choose it to do the sober January because there is nothing, right? There's no family events. Maybe a Super Bowl, maybe. I don't know. Does that happen?
I think that's a February thing.
Oh, okay, whatever. That's really it. Like, normally the UFC does a decent card, but there's really not much to look forward to. The big problem this year, Cam, is this January had 5 weekends.
Oh,
not
really?
4, but 5. So I'm dropping off of this sober January shit on the 29th because I can't let that many weekends go to waste.
So it's too many weekends.
It's too many weekends. You can't start a month on a Friday and end it on a Sunday.
Well, Cam, I mean, how would your weekends be different either way?
I want to drink.
Oh, you just want to drink. It's not that you're excited for anything in particular.
No, I just want to drink again. It's Corona times. It sucks. I hate it. I have nothing to look forward to. I shouldn't say that. I got other things, but I miss drinking. I miss not being sober.
You heard it here first. Cam misses drinking, which is normal for somebody. It would be if I went a month without coffee, I would be in a similar boat. See, I was thinking of throwing a curveball. Do the sober February because it's less days of being sober.
I'm doing 28 days regardless, so I'm not worried.
So you're a 28-day month. You're not doing a 30 or 31 day
like
month.
I said, I'm not. I'm cutting off. The week goes like this. So on the 31st is a Sunday, the 30th is a Saturday, the Friday is the 29th. I'm going 28 days. That 29 hits. It is. Oh, I have so many good beers lined up in the back already for me. I'm thinking of ordering a nice 2-4 for myself, having it next week, and just kind of like not drinking it, just looking at it. Maybe feeling the can get a little bit cold.
Okay, so
you put it in the fridge a little bit.
Wow, so you're saying maybe like treat yourself to a nice 2-4 of
like a really nice IPA.
What?
No, it's a craft brewer from Hamilton that they do like deliveries of this IPA.
Wow, a 2-4 of craft beer, Cam. I feel like that wouldn't align up with your specific caloric goals.
Well, Cam, it's the funny thing is normally by this time of the year, I'm pretty used to doing this. I'm like, I'll go February. I don't care. I'll do half the year. It's this year where there's just so little going on that it's hitting hard.
See, Cam, I think your problem is, and I use the word problem lightly, but you've had no reason to. Your life is too full that you don't have the time to miserably sit on your porch with a bottle of whiskey in one hand, because Cam, your life is too full of the pleasures in life.
What pleasures?
See, Cam, because you're saying I could normally go 2 months without drinking, but
I could go 6.
It's the current year, Cam. That's because for years and years and years, your life has been full of so much that you've not wanted or needed the reason to escape via drugs and alcohol. I think that's what it is.
I think that's what it is, yeah. Because I remember someone asked me. They were like, "What are you doing next week?" And I'm like, "I'm busy." They're like, "What are you busy with?" I'm like, "I'm busy for the next 6 weeks." They're like, "How are you?" And I just listed off. I'm like, "Parents this place, cottage this weekend, camping this weekend. After that, there's this wedding bullshit to go to." And you just list, and you're like, so when I talk to my friends, I'm always talking like, "Hey, does your February 19th weekend work?" And they're like, "Why so far ahead?" I'm like, "Because I know I'm free then." Well, I'm not otherwise.
And this, Cam, this could be a little PSA to anybody listening to the podcast who may want to, make plans with you one day down the road. It's at first come, first serve when it comes to booking your reservation. If you want Cam for the weekend of August 22nd, you might want to get that call in now, or you could just email.
I would recommend it.
You could email 2ceasinapod and just say, "Hey, Cam, I want to hang out like October 9th. Boom.
Just give me the October, and I'll be like, all right, I'll make something happen.
That makes it into the Google Calendar,
makes it
and
a lot
suddenly
easier.
your friends and everything's easier.
Right, and nice thing about that too is you can just if anyone asks, you can just say no.
You could just say no. I don't like you enough to want to make plans with you. Which, as an
no,
adult,
no, I'm
I
saying
think is
when,
an appropriate thing to say. If you just don't want to, no, I don't want to hang out with you. No.
Like, oh, you busy? Like, no. I was saying more so that when I get people come around like on a Thursday night and they'll be like, "Hey, what are you doing this weekend?" And I'm like, we're far beyond that. You busy on Saturday? You're not? You haven't figured.
Yeah,
my Monday is thinking like, what do I got this? I got to look forward to something. Otherwise, you're just droning through a week.
Well, especially in a normal routine, I know at least I have 2 weeks kind of chunked out. And then, sort of those special weekends of things like camping or visiting this, that, the other. You have those locked down, but pretty much like my day-to-day for 2 weeks is broadly, I know what that looks like.
Yeah. That's a good way to look at it. So anyway, point being is I'm tired of this January. I'm sick of it. Can't wait for it to be over, but we're just about there. So, hallelujah, Hanukkah, Jesus Christ Almighty.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, who will make an appearance in a couple months. April, who some have said is the cruelest month. I think I heard a poet say.
I don't know.
I heard a poet say that
is.
sometime, but that has notes written all over it. So let's get into last week's notes, shall we?
Oh.
Notes. We got some notes. We got some notes. Notes. We got some notes.
What a segue. Should just call the show Segues.
Are you ready for another segue, folks? And here's the segue. Cam, I think
Speaking of segues.
Speaking of segues, Cam, I think we need to get this down just once and for all. So the name of the I Am the Captain Now guy, his name is Barkhad Abdi, or we can refer to him as his character name, which is Abduwali Muse.
What would he prefer?
It's kind of hard to say. I mean, he is the character, but I wonder as like a point of reference for us. But that one's tough. So maybe we can sleep on that. Abduwali Muse, I think, is a good would be my kind of choice. I'd rather go with the character name, if personally. But maybe we can sit on that. And he's actually from Somalia, which is pretty fun. I can't recall how the name DB Cooper came up. That was written in bold font all over the notes. Don't remember how it came up, but hot damn for those of you listening at home. This guy literally got away with hijacking a plane and extorting the U.S. government for thousands of dollars in cash. Pretty much what happened. In 1971, this man named D.B. Cooper boards a plane, and once he's on the plane, he claims to have a bomb. And just like a hostage situation in a movie, they land the plane, they give him $200,000 cash, which is about $1.29 million today. They get back in the air, he jumps out, no one saw it happen, and that's about it. And but the final note, though, actually, I did have to say, this is actually, the case of D.B. Cooper is actually the only unsolved case of air piracy in commercial aviation history.
See, I told you all about this last week, and you hardly believed me, and you were like, how do you know about this?
Didn't even think it was possible.
Big
This is one of
news.
the coolest stories I've ever heard. And the final point that came up was the Canadian-U.S. border. So of course, it's a massive border, 8,891 kilometers long, and there are so many different crossings. So there's like way even too many to count. There's 119 legal land crossings, 2 of which are actually only one direction. One of them which you can only go into the States, the other one you can only come into Canada. There's also about a dozen ferry options. But even with that 119 legal border crossings, that means that there is a border crossing once every 74 kilometers. So maybe it wouldn't be as easy to sneak in as we thought.
I'm going to still say it is.
I mean,
74 kilometers is pretty far.
I mean, but at
Think
that point,
about that.
I mean, that's kind of like...
Cam, I live like 115 kilometers from you.
Well, that's, that could be... that's pretty far. That's pretty long. We could do it.
Think about that. Yeah, think about if I'm trying to think, between you and I, do you think I could find someone? Probably not. If they're like, I'm between... I'm like, I don't know, maybe. Like, even if you're in direct line, you're like, here is the line. I am on this line. I'm like, that's far.
It's just that split second that you're crossing the border. They would have to be right there. It could be pretty easy, folks. Yeah, only one every 74K. So use that as you want, because non-essential travel just can't happen these days. So you have to make your own essential travel, and that may mean pulling up your bootstraps quite literally and trekking through the forest.
Man, they are just slapping down tickets around here.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Do
I've been following the news on it. I haven't gotten one, but what I've seen is just like weird. They don't give the best details, and I think that's the media just trying to spin a story. Like, I read one story which is interesting. One person was like dropping off their kids at their grandparents, and then like a bunch of people were in the house because mom dropping off like 3 kids, 2 grandparents. So it's like, that's a party. And someone probably called. And then she got back in her car, and the cops pulled her over, like $808 ticket. Like, why? She's like, you you were outside your house or some bullshit. And she's like, I was dropping off that I'm allowed for daycare. So she's trying to protest it. But the cops are coming in heavy-handed, which I hope I don't get in between.
The heavy hand of the law, as it were. You know, I mean, the last thing Shannon wants to do while at work is to receive a call to dispatch to her very own address.
Well, it's funny. Here's something you don't think about. We're both going to bed last night, and then I've been doing this like meditation app at night to like put you to sleep. And she's like, make sure you move your phone before we fall asleep. I'm like, why? She's like, 'cause I get calls every day from people that just fall asleep with their phones and then they dial 911.
Oh, they accidentally dial 911?
Yeah.
How is that possible?
I don't know. I think some phones have like buttons that are like emergency, right?
Oh,
and then,
maybe. Yeah. Well, I mean, but honestly, these fat motherfuckers falling asleep with their cum device in bed beside them. I mean, come on, folks. Plug your phone in somewhere to charge.
Never plug your phone in overnight. That's how you kill the battery.
Or let it go all night. It doesn't matter.
Let it go. That's a
But
pro
at a certain
tip.
point, probably like after completion, so after you climax, wipe off your phone and just turn it off.
Little Lysol.
We don't want you butt dialing 911 while you're sleeping.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing that people did often, but apparently happens more than you think.
Yeah, I don't think I've never like pocket dialed anyone. Like I didn't think it was that common.
Oh man, I accidentally shared a person's contact. So I was sharing, like, on iPhone you can send someone's contact information, like as a little dot thing.
Yeah.
I sent that over to somebody, and then I looked at my phone and I got a text, and someone's like, "Hey, like, were you just trying to let me know about this? Like, what's the reason for this?" And I realized I had now created a group with two people who didn't know each other and sent a contact to them. And I was like, whoa, what are the chances of this?
That's not bad, actually.
I mean, it's not great. I don't think no one was like, what the fuck? Like, you're sharing this. No one cared, but...
No, but did these two people maybe, like, keep texting, maybe go for a coffee later?
One lives in Houston, the other one lives in Toronto, so
I
no.
mean, it sounds like love at first sight.
It's like a good old catfish story.
Oh,
gotta love a good catfish story.
You got a good catfish story? Is that what you just said?
Oh man, I watched one last night that was pretty crazy.
Oh, this was just an episode of Catfish.
Do you watch Catfish?
I've seen Catfish, of course. I'm a piece of white trash just like you
Oh,
are.
you gotta love it. You gotta love it.
Of course, of course.
It's the it's Shannon's eyes. It's our, what do you call it? Guilty pleasure. It's
I
a
don't
good
like
one to
that
watch.
term. If you like something,
Okay.
just fucking say you like it. You like the show Catfish. That's why
I
you
love
watch
it.
the show Catfish. Exactly. It's not a
Whatever.
guilty pleasure. Cam,
Fair
take
enough.
back the word. Take back
I'm
the
getting
night.
rid of that word.
Exactly.
I'm taking back the night.
Take back the night, Cam.
This one is fucked though. So, spoiler alert:
This one was
if you're keeping up with the Catfish storyline, like weekly episodes, first of all, they now do it virtually. So it'd be like me and you having a conversation. Then we bring a third person on via Zoom, and we have a conversation. We're like, "All right, thanks." Like, email us the information. I just Google it. I'm like, what's their name? Like, oh, I put it into a program. It's like, well, this comes up. And you're like, these things are filmed in 45 minutes. You could do 100 of these episodes in a season.
I'm sure they
like,
do.
You could have 5 people a day. Oh, I think they banged out 23 this season.
Oh man, the amount of productions like of reality type things that have saved money due to the forced Zoom meeting thing, like 90 Day Fiance is one where any reality show, when they do the bring everybody back a few months later to talk about it.
Yeah.
They can't do that anymore, so it's just the Zoom conversation. And what do you think is less expensive? A fucking Zoom conversation or flying 16 people out to one location,
Right.
hotel, maybe a
Buying
small per
hundreds
diem,
of condoms.
anything like that. Yeah, I'm
Lube.
sure there have been a lot of those. So a show like fucking Catfish, like great. Finally, they don't have to fly out.
Oh,
to
they must
fucking
love it. They're like, we
Mobile,
don't have to leave our
Alabama.
house
It's exactly
to do
you
this
think,
stuff.
You think
Yeah.
Neve wants to leave his house? His hair isn't going to stay like that forever. He has to
got him.
preserve it.
Anyway, this episode, getting back to it, without this proper segue, was this girl was, it's the typical Catfish story, but the twist is at the end. So they all jump on the Zoom call, and then she goes, hold on a second. And she's like, someone else is joining us. She's like, what? Right? Everyone's, then they cut to commercial, of course. Bring it back in the commercial. And this, like, 50 or 60-year-old lady is in the bottom corner of the Zoom screen, and they basically say, okay, like, thanks for, like, what's up with this? Because, Jerry thought he was talking to Janice. Janice is here. You're the person. Who was he actually talking to? And they go, everybody, this is Martha. They go, who's Martha? They go, Martha's my mom. They go, why is your mom on the call? He goes, Martha was stealing my phone, or stealing naked pictures of me from my phone at night and sending them to underage boys 10 years ago.
Nice.
Pretty sick. And she's like, the guy's like, what? So I was talking, he's like, yeah, that was me. He's like, how? She's like, I would just take pictures of her and be like, hey, sweetie, let me take a picture of you. You look great. Nice. And then she would just use her as a catfish.
Use your hot daughter as a catfish?
Pretty fucked,
I'm
yeah,
surprised
pretty
it took
fucked.
people this long to do that. That's the perfect crime. Constant new photos.
I think there's better crimes
So you know
than that.
when
Yeah.
you hit that point in the catfish when they're like, so someone would be like, send me a photo of you, like
Holding a newspaper,
holding a box of mints
from the Toronto
So then you
Sun.
would just go to your daughter and be like, hey, sweetheart, hold this box of mints, and
You're
then
like,
take their
hey, I
photo.
there was one person. This one was a good one.
Hey, don't knock it. Don't knock it till you try it, Cam.
This one person was like such an elaborate catfish that the pictures of the person she was using, because people would be like, oh, if you're even real, then send me a picture of a whiteboard that says, I love you, Samantha. Today is 69. And then they're like, okay. And then what she would do is she'd reach out to the person the picture is taken care of. It's like, hey, I'm a serious movie producer, and we're trying to get this film going, and we need you to take a picture of you with the sign. And they're like, okay, sure. And then they'd never hear back, but they'd have the picture.
Wow. See, that feels almost a little too, like, at that point, it should just be a two-person operation. There should be one hot woman and then the person doing the communicating. And then just constantly, like, you have this relationship, the symbiotic relationship, so any money you extort, you can just collect it all. It'd be like you kind of have
that's if you're extorting money. A lot of times they don't extort money. They just
get it.
extort feelings, right? Because they're just lonely people.
See, I do like the ones where they will send like amounts of money.
That's always pretty sad. Yeah,
I think those. Yeah, you see that a lot on all. Yeah, any of those shows where they're sending the people like money. I'm just like, oh god, this is gonna be a good one. It's
well, they're like, yeah, they
hilarious.
can't talk because they just got in a car crash because they're on their way to the hospital for their dying dad, and their video chat's broken on their phone.
Yeah, my favorite is the my Instagram account. The Instagram account is hacked and like deleted, so like they wipe out all the photos and everything, and then like a new username pops up a couple days later, and they're still like, well, that's weird. They got hacked. Favorite.
What do you mean? I don't understand.
Anytime anybody is hacked online,
you're suspicious.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, well, maybe they were just hacked. I don't know. It's almost like you could use that excuse to anybody. Just like, hey, you write it. Hey, sorry, my Facebook was hacked. Everyone's like, okay. Like,
I've never had anyone get into any of my profiles. No. Yeah, that's true. But do you ever get the ones on like Facebook Messenger where someone's like, "Oh my God, do you see this picture of us? This is crazy."
I love those because it assumes a certain like pattern of speech that I like definitely don't have. It's like I love when you get a spam email. Anytime like a spam message or something uses the number 2 instead of the word
T-O?
or TWO, like. In that kind of way, or U's and R's, like any of that, like primitive internet speak.
Oh yeah.
Anytime you get that, I'm like, oh, I wish I spoke like that.
I was clever enough, but this one hit me at work the other day. I got an email from the CEO, and it was like, "Hey, do you have time to chat over email really quickly?" And I'm like, what? I'm like.
Chat over email seems like something that you would say on your AOL account.
I'm like, chat over email? Like, No, we have just right back. We have instant messenger, dumbass.
Yeah, we have instant.
We have Teams accounts. Like, what are we doing? This
we have
call me on my
IM,
cell.
We have cell. We have WhatsApp. We have all these things. I like the ones you get too, where it's it'll be specific from like, or it's the heading, and it will read like a letter from Netflix or a letter from Apple.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Or something. Yeah, I like those ones too. But there's always like a one little word you can tell, or like a question.
Well, just things are a little off.
Yeah, you get this one question. Yeah, or the way if something is phrased, and you're like, that doesn't make sense. Like,
well, the other day I was on the phone with I was getting nervous with Virgin Mobile because they sent me a flyer in the mail that was like, hey, redeem this like promo code, blah blah blah. And you can get $45 a month for like 6 gigs or something. It was a great deal. And I'm like, oh shit, yeah, I'll do that because I was going to change providers anyway. And I get on the phone with these people. It's like, hey, this is Chris from Virgin Mobile. And I'm like, all right, Chris, like here's my, like, can you take my credit card? And he's like, unfortunately, we can't take credit cards over the phone. I'm like, okay, yeah, I guess that's an okay policy if everyone's working from home. And I'm like, all right, well, what do you need from me then? He's like, we're going to have to do a credit check on you. So what's your driver's license number? I'm like, what? I'm like, can I not give you that? Like, I'd really prefer not to give you that information. That's the easiest thing for someone to replicate and steal my identity. So I don't know who the fuck you are, Chris. It goes, okay. Eventually, I'm like, "Fuck, okay, take it, whatever." I get, and he keeps processing.
No, you gave him the number.
I gave him the number.
And so, Cam, this whole time you should also be online and on like virginmobile.ca.
I was checking the numbers. Everything seemed legit.
Everything seemed legit up until this point.
Everything seemed legit. Everything seemed good. And then he's like, this thing's not working. Like, did you change your address or something like that? I'm like, no, like, this is it. And he tries like 5 more times. He's like, okay, we can do another way to do it. I'm like, what is it? He's like, could you give me your SIN? I'm like, fuck you. I'm like, not a chance on earth I'm giving you my SIN. And I'm like, I'm out. And then I'm like, listen, dude, I gotta go. You know, the classic, I gotta go. Where am I gotta go. So I hang up the phone. And he's like, well, do you want to get this done? I'm like, maybe.
Do you still have the ad that you got in the mail?
I think it was legit.
I want to see it because like clearly
it's gone,
was not. Oh, you threw it out already?
I think it's gone. But
you should have kept that for further review, Cam, because clearly you called a spam number. Maybe.
I don't know. But the thing is, when I called, it was like it didn't start off with like, hey, this is Chris. It was like, welcome to Virgin Mobile. Pour le français, faites un.
I don't know about that, but
tight.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but you don't.
It felt good.
It felt good,
yeah.
But yeah, you should have gone online.
Chris is like, I can't take your credit card number, but I sure can take your SIN number. Chris, get the fuck out of here. I don't know why people would trust you that information.
In his defense, there are less numbers in a SIN number than there are in a credit card number. So
you just can't remember it?
It would be easier, it's less numbers to write down. But yeah, Cam, I think you should have gone to virginmobile.ca to check out. Well, he was like,
you can try doing it online.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. Then I tried doing it online. It's like, okay, call a rep. I'm like,
really?
So then I didn't go with Virgin. I said, fuck this.
Virgin Mobile sounds shitty. I just the other day received a notice from Rogers like, hey, do you want more gigs for less dollars? I was like, sign me up.
Like, yes, please.
And then guess what?
Yeah.
I got it the next day. I clicked
easy.
yes, and then here it popped up. Amazing what can happen sometimes, eh?
I feel bad for the people when you do call them though, especially now that they're at home. You're like, this is weird. Because I always ask them, like, are you working from home too? They're like, yeah. I'm like, how's that? They're like, it's kind of shit. Like, I hate it. And they're like, are we being recorded? They're like, maybe. Like, I don't give a fuck. I'm quitting this job anyway.
What kind of shady?
I don't know, man.
People are you calling?
I called
Cam?
this lady. I called Shatter Mobile. And you know when, like, you call and you're trying to get something resolved and, like, they have to walk you through a process? And they have to do it over the phone. I'll walk you through an example here. I'm like, hey, I need to update my plan, but I got locked out of my account. Can you help me? And she's like, yeah, I can help you. And then she's like, okay, I just sent you the reset password. I'm like, okay. And then she's on the phone. And she's like, okay, go up to the top right on your screen. See where it says phone? Click that. Okay, no, click the drop down. You're like, I already clicked phone. I'm out of that screen. Like, let me go back to that. She's like,
Well, what's the alternative, Cam? Would you?
I don't know. I just feel bad for them because I'm like, I'm an idiot, right? I'm trying to do this. Like, I think I'm smart, and I'm like, I know how to get to this website, and I'm clicking through things too fast. I'm like, yeah, I'm already there. She's like, where are you? I'm like, the screen says update phone plan. She's like, you're on the wrong screen. I never told you to go there.
You're a simpleton.
You skipped 4
You're a
steps ahead.
simpleton, Cam. It's
What?
easy. It's easy.
I thought so. And then I don't know. That's my customer service experience lately. I think I got a call on my couch. Oh, Cam, I didn't tell you. We inked a deal on a new house.
A new place. Moving.
Yeah.
That's
Moving.
exciting.
Yeah.
How far away from where
Yeah.
you are now?
Probably about 5 minutes.
Okay. What's the new place
we
like?
It's got a big deck, a decent sized backyard, 3 floors to it,
Wow.
2 bathrooms, 3 bedrooms. Like the 1 bedroom is like a rec room / den, which goes out to our backyard. We have a main floor with like a living room area attached to the kitchen with a dining room. Upstairs, 2 bedrooms plus the bathroom with what they called a cheater ensuite. You know what that means?
I'm going to say that it's an ensuite, but it's like only like a sink and a toilet. No toilet.
So-
Sink and shower. Sink and shower only. Sink and a stand-up shower.
Close, but not really. So it's the full bathroom.
Okay.
But what it's missing is the ensuite, which is being that the bathroom is only attached to your bedroom. The cheater ensuite means that there's also a door to go back into the hallway.
Oh, okay. I can picture it. Yeah, I can picture it.
Yeah,
That's fun.
So that's
That's fun.
it's-
Well, it sounds like you have all the rooms. It sounds like if I'm
got lots of
going
rooms.
over the top rooms in a house, you've just named off at least some of the best ones.
the main ones.
Some of the
Office.
biggest ones. I'll be if I'm being
The
honest.
rec room, the living room.
Yeah.
Kitchen.
The dining room made an appearance.
Oh, there's a linen closet. Oh,
There's the little room where you keep the hot water heater and like
Oh,
all those
and there's a
all
garage,
those old
and there's a
Christmas
garage.
bags, like that you give out Christmas gifts in. There's that little
Yep.
room. What else? What's another room? That's about it.
there is the one under the stairs where you keep
Harry Potter.
your Harry Potter books.
All of your Harry Potter books, by the way. Multiple copies of Goblet of Fire because you love a 600-page novel, Cam. That's great to hear. So what, we got 2 months from now? Is this a March 1st thing?
It's March 1, yeah.
March 1.
So I'm just excited once the old COVID's nice and dead and we're all got that shot in our arm that we're going to have a slapper in the backyard. It's got a real good balcony for tank tops and like Bud Lights, with the fellas.
Well, certainly. If you ever, if come the time, if you do need help moving, I'm only a phone call away because you got to be there to help your friends move.
Good point.
That's-
How does that work with the social distancing? I don't know.
No, it's all good.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Checked with Dougie.
I checked. I called him up. I said, "Hey, fat ass, what's going on?" And don't worry, he approved everything for the moving, Cam. That's great news.
He once told me hello. Like he said, "How you doing?" He once said that to my face.
That's so
He once said that
cool.
to me. Yeah, and I just gave him a nod because I wasn't fucking engaging with
fun.
that prick.
That's fun.
I was like, "Hey, what's up? What's up? You coming into my work? You gonna walk? You gonna
All
walk
right.
into here and pretend that like you run this? You're gonna walk around here, look at me like that, and say, "What's up? What's up? What's up?" That's what I said to him. I'm like, "What's up?"
Yeah. You should have said something like, "Sorry, sir. To cross this threshold, you have to have graduated from at least college."
Ooh,
Cam,
got
I
him.
think it's time we play a game.
Non-political podcast. Let's play a game.
This is not a political podcast. Cam, we're gonna play a little game of March Madness here. How's that sound?
Sounds like it's. Oh my god, we started March Madness in like April last year.
Oh, you think the game? Oh, so what does that mean? The game has
So
been played
we're-
for approximately 9 months.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it means we're almost back in March.
Yeah, almost back in March, baby. Today we're going to play a little March Madness. You know how it's played, the intricate ruling of bracketry. It's a science, quite frankly, a science that Cam mastered when he invented this game. We're going to play a little March Madness with the top 8, or maybe just 8, songs off the album Worry by Jeff Rosenstock.
Oh, my God.
So, again,
this is hitting such a specific audience. It's ridiculous.
Specific target audience. But Cam, I think you have to do that every once in a while. Now, there's 16 songs in the CD. So obviously, it's only half of them. Right?
Okay.
It's only 8, and I just tried to kind of pick a mix of them all. So coming in our first round matchup, we have While You're Alive and Bang on the Door.
Ooh, I didn't realize it was going to be this hard.
It's actually hard. I played this game to myself, and it was also very difficult.
So, While You're Alive, a quote of that is on my wall. So that one's has some heart to it, and that quote is, I think we have 2 actually. That's the one, laughing at funerals or wheezing at carnivals, listening to heartbeats slowing down as we get old together now. That's right. I have that right about that?
Poetry, quite frankly.
And then the other one was, I think the other quote in it is, "Perfect always takes so long because it don't exist." Just some great lines, and then Bang on the Door, really fun. You know, it's a different vibe entirely. Mm-hmm. Beautiful in its own right, but I think the beauty of While You're Alive has to take that one for me.
Fantastic! That was a difficult first round matchup. I know that, and I think this first round matchup will be no different. We have To Be a Ghost and June 21st.
I think I was singing the wrong song. Now I think about it. While You're Alive is not the song I was thinking of.
Okay, well, you said it. And what other song are you thinking of? Because you are thinking of the right song, except for that second lyric, which is actually in a different song.
That's in Perfect Sounds Whatever. You're right. Okay, my bad. Okay, I'm still picking that one.
Okay. Well, remember, if you can recall, at least your second round matchup, To Be a Ghost and June 21st.
Because it's June 21st. That one feels like a good refresher on the album to kind of get you out of your, oh my God, life is sad, everything is miserable, I'm going to kill myself. And then what was the other song?
June 20, or To Be a Ghost. Sorry.
Trying to remember. Oh, that's right after Wave Goodnight to Me. Oh, that one does hit Diffie too.
Diffie.
Ooh, you're just coming in hard here.
Yep, I'm coming in hot with this.
Oh, I want to let you know when you're alive that everybody loves you when you die. Oh, it doesn't matter. It's not there, not there. Oh my God, Kim.
That's While You're Alive, Cam. You're mixing up your lyrics all over the place.
You're all over the place.
You're all over the place. I made the game.
I don't know the game. Jesus, I'm gonna have to pick To Be a Ghost.
That's a tough one. That was a tough one to
This seems like a question of, do you like sad music or do you like happy music?
Well, don't worry. It comes around in some places because we do have, well, I mean, not much of it. Huh? So we have Beg to Explode, the big track that kicks off the album, and Rainbow.
I think this one's an easy one for me. We Beg to Explode. I think that was my first introduction to Jeff Rosenstock. And it's just that big orchestra feel to it that, all these magic moments I forgot. And just, sets the tone for something that you'll never forget and you'll play for the rest of your life. So that one's pretty easy for me.
It's going on to the
Beg
next
to
round.
Explode.
And our final first round matchup here, we have Staring Out the Window of Your Old Apartment or Perfect Sound Whatever. Which is the one that you kind of thought of originally. They are 2 different songs. But, very different songs.
So I know that you're a big fan of Staring at the Window of Your Old Apartment. That's my least favorite song in the album.
Harsh take.
harsh take, but you have to pick one. I just find it's a little bit boring, the song. A little bit like a little too over dramatic. Like, stand in the window of your old apartment, imagining the old you stumbling through. So I don't know. It's not my favorite one. It's my least favorite, to be specific. And then Perfect Sounds Whatever, I think, is my favorite ending to an album ever, for just a song that encapsulates the whole thing and, leaves you feeling good at the end, or leaves you feeling something at least. Not empty.
Not empty. Perfect sound. No, if you want to talk album finishers, Coldest Winter at the end of 808s and Heartbreaks, that's the best way to end an album. So we have our second round matchups, two of them, that is. So we have While You're Alive, the track that kind of squeaked its way in there, I guess, and To Be a Ghost.
I'd like to point out, so we don't get this mixed up on notes next week, the end of 808s and Heartbreaks is actually Pinocchio Story.
On the deluxe version, we're not counting it. We're counting studio releases only.
Now, I'm going to need you to repeat that because I just needed to,
studio
fact check you on that one.
Releases only. No deluxe versions in my house.
All right, next round.
You didn't even pick. I gave you the fucking options.
I didn't hear them. I was paying attention to the other thing.
You're paying attention to what the other guy in the room. We have no more interns, Cam. There's no one else. There's no whiteboard to
They
stare
love
at.
us. They love us.
There's no bottomless piggy bank. Of course, a big porcelain pig with his pants pulled around his ankles, revealing his bottom.
Big card in Saudi Arabia this weekend. You hear about it? Let's talk about it after the game. Love it.
Cam, here we go. So we have While You're Alive and To Be a Ghost.
Very much on the same, how would you put it? Same feel of that, like, slow, 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 and then it builds up at the end, and you feel something.
Classic song structure of
slow, 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 and then you build it up, and you feel
and the
something.
song is done.
Okay, so we got To Be a Ghost, and what's the second one? While You're Alive?
Yes.
Okay. That actually two complement each other very, very well. The While You're Alive funnels so nicely into Perfect Sounds of Whatever, and those two tracks, again, we can't really debate because it's a matter of opinion, but I think that 1-2 punch, that's the crispy punches that we expect from a perfect album. Perfect Sounds of Whatever, While You're Alive, the ultimate duo. The answer was While You're Alive.
Wow.
Sorry, it's period. While You're Alive.
I do have to stop you right there, Cam. You know it's Perfect Sound Whatever. There's no S at the after S. I mean, it's the biggest question in Jeff Rosenstock lore. Did he simply forget to put an S there? Because the other way around doesn't make sense grammatically, Cam. And this is a fun little second round matchup that I'm glad happened this way because it was planned. Because on a sandwich there's two buns. Or two pieces of bread, and they are on either side complementing the juice and the meat and the freshness in the middle. In our next round matchup, we have Beg to Explode and Perfect Sound Whatever.
Oh my God! So we're going, do we like the top or do we like the bottom? It's like this just reminds me back. Remember when KFC released that sandwich, which is two breaded pieces of chicken that were the buns?
Yeah, and then wasn't it just more chicken on the inside of that?
I think it was bacon.
Oh, gross. Fat fucks down there in Kentucky. Jesus Christ.
So
Yeah,
I don't know
that's
how
right.
I can.
Fuck you, Kentucky. There, I said it.
You heard it here.
If you're
There,
out
I
there in
fucking said
Kentucky,
it.
go
Yeah.
fuck yourself.
If we have listeners in Kentucky, go fuck yourself.
Send us a couple Louisville Sluggers.
Yeah,
Straight from the
that's
factory.
all you're good for. That's right,
And then
Kentucky.
go
You have
fuck
one thing you
yourself.
produce ever: a Louisville Slugger.
That's right. We gave it to you, Cam, but we do need the answer on this matchup.
Oh, I'm gonna go with Perfect Sound Whatever, and I wonder if that is, again, on the lore side of it. It's that because nothing is ever perfect, why do we care about spelling? Everything will work itself out anyway, or did he simply forget? I'm going on the artistic side of it, and that he knew all along what he was doing.
Because if Cam, there's one thing I know about you is that you love the arts.
Oh my God, I'm gonna watch a movie tomorrow. Put it that way.
Because you want to support him so much, you're going to watch a movie, Cam. Well, I think there is no better final ending, more fitting, because we do have to choose. Although in your mind, it may just be one 5-minute song, but that's not the case, because in our final round matchup, we have While You're Alive and Perfect Sound Whatever.
Oh, and it's a draw, buddy. You can't separate
There's
the
no
two.
draw.
There's a draw.
There's absolutely no draw. This is unheard. This March Madness would not exist if a possibility of a tie could occur. It's continuous sudden
You
death
can't put the two
overtime.
together. It's the same song.
Cam, I never thought you were one to give up on a challenge. Because this is a difficult decision that needs to be made.
Fine. I'll think about it.
He's pensive right now, folks at home.
I'm
Cam
thinking.
is
This is the
thinking
most
about
I've thought.
this.
I don't think in a day.
Honestly,
I just
this
do.
might actually be the biggest decision you've made.
I signed a lease for a
months.
house. This is a bigger decision today.
And I feel it sounds like a beautiful space. I feel like that was a no-brainer. I feel like you saw the house and you were like, "This is perfect."
I
We
told
want
Shannon,
this.
I'm like, can you just say yes? I don't want to think anymore.
"What do you
okay.
look? What do you?"
I was listening to this song real quickly. Here's what I really like about the ending of Perfect Sound Whatever is that it tails off really nicely and it doesn't like drone on too long. So it like, and I really like that. What's that little machine that has the ding 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 ding?
A little bell, some glockenspiel.
Oh, the old glockenspiel, my favorite. As an arts guy, the
Cam,
glockenspiel.
as a supporter of the arts.
Call me Hillary Swank because I am a supporter of the arts. You heard it here first.
Jesus Christ.
Who's your favorite Hillary Swank movie? Be honest with me.
My favorite Hillary Swank movie.
Who is Hillary Swank? Be honest.
She's the one who's not Sandra Bullock in the movies. You know, anytime you see a movie and you're like, is that Sandra Bullock? The answer is no.
Never said that.
It's Hillary Swank. Cam, but we
Okay.
need the answer on this.
All
final
right.
matchup.
I'm going with While You're Alive. I'm saying it.
Coming from behind, victory.
What was yours?
Some of these were fun, actually. I think To Be a Ghost would have won, and then Beg to Explode. So To Be a Ghost and Beg to Explode. That one would have been tough for me. I think Beg to Explode would have taken it. In these particular matchups, it's it's so difficult to kind of pick them apart one by one like that. And Cam, I'm glad that you.
What'd you think of the new album, the 2021?
I'm glad you rose to the challenge. What I think with the new album, it's tough because it sounds too good to be bad. Like there's a certain
overproduced.
Yeah, there's a certain tonal quality of We Cool and Worry that sounds fantastic because it's a pretty sloppy organization that they have.
Some say that's what they like the old podcast before we got the new funding for the studio here.
Exactly. Some people love Cameron's far off audio. It sounds like he's talking in a fucking meat fridge. Yeah, I think the newest album, Post, was in like a middle ground, where it was just starting to sound really good, and I was like, holy shit, okay, so like let's keep this and keep writing old songs, but fucking budgets change and people evolve. Who am I to say?
That's right. Did you give this album a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it?
5 stars.
5 stars. You know what that's from?
No,
You
what's
saying
that
that?
from?
Oh, that's Anthony Fantano. He always ends his videos with that.
Sounds like a cool
Anyway.
guy, Cam. I'm glad you have a friend.
You know Anthony Fantano, the guy on YouTube.
I don't think so. I don't think I know him.
He's the needle drop.
Who's the needle drop?
Oh my god. Notes.
It's not a note. A
Notes.
note is when you say something and then it needs to be revised
Plowing
to
ahead
to check it's on its legitimacy.
Okay. Here's one. Do you want to bet some money on something really stupid?
I could do a nice little $1 wager with you, Cam. I think our friendship is priceless, and the need to exchange large lump sums it would just be gratuitous.
This weekend, the Conor McGregor fight is on. It has already passed if you're listening to this, but there's some prop bets, and I was hoping we can get to them.
Oh, I do like myself some prop bets.
All right. Are you ready for the... We'll do three. And then we'll just, I don't know, we'll make it $1 each because we're cheap.
Okay.
$100,000, that is. All right. So, the first prop bet is the length of Bruce Buffer's introduction. Over 167 seconds and a half or under 167 seconds and a half.
167 seconds? Was that 3 minutes? So that's what, though? Because doesn't...
That's from when he grabs that mic and says, "Ladies and gentlemen,
yeah,
it's the moment you've been waiting
is that
for.
After the
This fight is brought
entrances?
to you by Modelo, the king of beers. This is also brought to you by Proper 12 Whiskey, a product of Conor McGregor."
You want to talk notes, Cam?
Go ahead.
You want to talk notes, Cam? That's a terrible impression. But do they do their intros before that? They do the intros before.
Then they do all that ad shit, and then they go, "In the blue corner, weighing in at 155 pounds.
Again, Cam.
Fighting out of Dublin, Ireland."
Again, Cam, terrible impression. You want a note? I think you need to work on your buffer.
Let's hear your buffer.
Let's hear your buffer. The over on. Can't do impressions. I don't try to do them. Therefore, I can't be criticized, Cam. I'm going to take the over on this one, because eventually that old man's got to have a little senior moment and kind of prolong something a little bit. And this is pay-per-view, baby. We got nowhere to be.
Well, I'll give you that. I was going to take the over, but I'll take the under now.
Okay. Well, Cam, how about you give me the next bet, and then you choose which one you want.
Okay. This one's interesting because this is not as okay, here we go. This is a good one. Will Conor McGregor say Proper 12 in the Octagon interview?
So, Cam, I guess this is on you to choose what you want.
I know. I'm letting you think. But here's the thing you have to realize.
Okay.
Is that he's only going to get an interview if he doesn't get knocked out. If he gets knocked out, they will not give him an interview. And if he loses, it's pretty unlikely that he's going to be like Proper 12. I'm going for the yes.
You're going for the yes. I would almost take a side bet that he's going to say the words proper and 12, but right beside each other. He's going to say the word proper and then maybe like 10 words later.
It only took me 12 minutes.
Yeah, it only took me 12 minutes to beat him proper. Like, it would kind of, different order, but same words. Who knows?
See, I'm just taking notes for next week. Okay. And
are you the bookie? Are you acting as bookie?
I'm bookie
right now. Fantastic.
Okay. And these ones are a little more tricky because there's so many bets that you can make. That's like, what's the odds on Conor McGregor by a submission? It's like plus 2,500. Like, so unlikely. Will the fight go the distance? Yes or no?
I'll take the yes on that one.
Okay. I'm going to go with the no on that one, so I think we're both in distance. Okay. Well, tune in, folks. You already know the answer to all these questions, but there's $3 on the line here. And
then the winner gets to shave the loser's ass.
Ooh, I like that. Put a little bit on their mocha latte.
Sounds disgusting.
Wow.
I'm excited for those prop bets, Cam. Glad that you're acting as bookie for the podcast. Of course, we haven't really quite seen that revenue stream come in yet from a lot of your bookieing activities.
No, we're waiting for the money to come. They always say that the casino always wins, but I've been paying a lot of money recently.
I think they like to call it the house. starring
House.
Amy Poehler and Will Ferrell. Cam, I think it's about time we just want to play our final game. Kind of ease ourselves towards the end of the show, just like we eased ourselves into nighttime over the course of this podcast. So let's play a little headline or asinine.
Hey, headline, asinine. Headline or asinine.
Let's do it, son.
You know how the game's played? There's some real headlines and there's some fake headlines. You're going to figure out which one's which, Cam. How about you kick it off this week?
All right. Headline or asinine. President Biden has removed the Diet Coke button from the Oval Office.
The Diet Coke button. Of course, the Diet Coke button kind of sounds like I guess I'm going to assume it's kind of like an easy button, but specifically for Diet Coke. It's that was easy. That was Diet Coke. I like to think so. Like I guess like Trump drank a lot of Diet Coke, which checks out. I never really thought about it nor saw him, but I bet him and John Daly would get along. They've definitely golfed a little bit together. I guess it's really just the presentation of the Diet Coke, which I'm really focused on. Like, was it like, did it come rolling out from like a tube somewhere? How cold was it? I also like to picture a world where like a butler showed up very fancy with like a silver platter, but then it was still the Diet Coke in a can. Like he didn't even like take it out of the can yet. So I am going to say that's a headline.
That is a headline, and details are limited on as to how it actually gets delivered, but there is confirmation that there was a button on his desk, and his desk didn't have many things on it. You know, if you ever look at an Oval
Probably
Office
a phone,
desk, couple pens.
couple pens.
That's really it.
A jewel pod
And
charger.
Not like my desk. My desk right now has a mouse, a recording set on it, 2 water bottles, vitamin B12, a rag, headphones, a whiteboard eraser, cup of pens, a cup. That's about it, but that's quite a bit, and a computer.
Sounds like a good sounds like a nice desk.
Thank you. Anyway, so yeah, there was a button on there, and part of his first day, he was getting it out of there. Apparently, when you press the button, someone gets alerted to go get him a cold Diet Coke.
I'm glad it's cold. See, maybe if I was President Joe Biden, I wouldn't throw away the Diet Coke button. I would just retool it to maybe a Dr. Pepper, and then we'll now we're talking, right?
A Diet Dr. Pepper or a legit one?
Either one. I mean, it's your button.
I don't know. Diet Dr. Pepper doesn't really keep. I find it just Diet Coke great. Diet root beer, it's okay. Diet Dr. Pepper, I feel like I'm not really. I'm cheating too much.
I'm cheating too much.
It doesn't taste good.
Then that's
It's
why.
like-
That's
like,
why you
I
gotta
get
the
where
real
you're going,
thing,
but I
baby.
just
That's
don't
why
like
you
it.
gotta get the real thing. You said Diet Dr. Pepper. I said real Dr. Pepper. Give me those 13 flavors.
I think if you're gonna go Dr. Pepper, you go with the real stuff.
That's
the
what I
diet
said.
stuff is just not carrying up. But there's just so much sugar in it.
You
That's the only
brought
problem.
up the diet element, Cam. Jesus Christ. Are you ready for your first headline?
Don't drink your calories, folks. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Parents lose lawsuit over destruction of son's porn stash.
I'm curious how old the son was, because if he's like anything under 30, it would have been all online. So I think here's my only thoughts: is an older son, and they destroyed it because they're like, this is disgusting. But it was all like old VHSs and like the classic material, old magazines, the hard copy stuff. And they were like, we're getting rid of all this. And he was saying to himself, like, that is worth. This has Nina North's first appearance on camera. You don't get that anywhere you want, right? This has Alexis Texas's third appearance ever on screen. Her first ever, backdoor appearance. Headline.
Cam, you're right. It's a headline because I think that's exactly it. There's probably some rare porn copies that people would pay thousands of dollars for. And apparently this man did. From Western Michigan State. Man sued his parents for getting rid of his porn collection, and he has won this lawsuit seeking compensation. So this happened over a period of 10 months after the man David Workings divorced his wife and then moves back into his parents' house, where he claims that they threw out $29,000 of films and magazines. The parents, of course, admitted to destroying the property, but claimed that they had the right to do so because they were his parents. I think the biggest takeaway, there's a few takeaways for this story for me, Cam. Kind of converting your porn into
Digital format.
A digital format. You see those kind of people, you'll see those kind of ads or whatever, a little shop, they'll be like, hey, convert your old family videos to your old family VHSs to a video file, and just do that with your porn.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have that big of a stash here. It's only like one closet full, so I don't think I need to.
Yeah, I was also wondering, what does $29,000 of porn look like?
I don't know.
It's got to fill a room, right?
Depends. Like, if you have a few that are like $5,000 worth of pop.
What one singular porn item would be worth $5,000?
Alexis, Texas, first time.
Jesus Christ.
All right. Headliner asinine, Cam. Let's get our heads out of the gutter. Okay.
I feel like it's going
stuff.
right back. You're leading me on too much.
The first word was cocaine.
Yeah. You said cocaine right off the bat. I knew this wasn't going to go well.
Cocaine stuffed shipment of bananas arrives at Canadian grocery store.
Coke stuffed bananas. Now that's fun because how do you reseal the banana? I mean, certainly we've all peeled a banana. We can all picture how difficult it would be to kind of it's ripped in half. How would you reseal it? But these porn people are thinking of anything these days. I recall watching one of those cocaine docs that everyone loves so much. After the cop dogs were able to smell coke in luggage, they then hid the coke in coffee beans because coffee was a stronger smell, but then they trained the dogs to just smell out for coffee, and then they would check all these coffee loads. So bananas would be no different, but who knows? Maybe bananas can mask the smell of a bunch of blow. Who knows? I don't even know what blow smells like these days. So I'm going to say that's a headline.
That is a headline, and it's all because of a classic mix-up. So you ever get that maybe
classic mix-up?
A package at your door that's if you live at a 6, we got one the other day. It was, I think they wrote a 7, but it kind of looked like a 4. I don't know how they fucked it up that bad, and it just arrived at our door. So I think one of those happened, and this person was shipping bananas, and they just put a top layer of bananas, and then bricks and bricks of cocaine underneath that, but in banana boxes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not like they actually filled
I thought you said banana stuffed, and I was like...
that's what the headline... That's the headline, but that's how they get you. That's how they get you clicking.
That one's misleading.
And this arrived in British Columbia.
And then what happened? Any other further details, or...?
Kelowna RCMP is looking into it. They think they might have some leads into it, but at this point, any information that you do have would be appreciated.
And of course, if you're listening to the podcast and you live in the Kelowna area, i.e. my stepbrother and his partner, it would be great if you guys could look into this situation and contact the authorities.
Maybe give us a quick heads up on it.
Okay, ready for this next one, Cam?
Yeah.
Man arrested for kidnapping 5 people and forcing them to play Yahtzee for 15 straight hours.
That's a sad one, because I played Yahtzee for 45 minutes and I can't take it.
So the Yahtzee is the focus of this for you.
I couldn't take it. I don't like that game. It's not very fun. There's no skill involved. It's just pick up the dice and roll it. And you're like, oh, look, I got a 6 and a 4. It's like, okay, mark that down. You're like, okay, do it again. You're like, I can't get 6. Okay, I got 3. You're like, oh, you gonna risk it? You're like, fuck, sure, okay. Right? After one game, you're like, this is brutal. Right? So the fact that someone put someone in a room, maybe they just kept playing until they won. That would be the sadder part. Right? Because there's it's a game of luck. That's all it is. Am I thinking of the right game?
Yeah, you are thinking of the right game. Yeah, with the cup, it comes with the cup. You know, a game is fun when you have to write a bunch of stuff down. So, Cam, what's your final answer going to be?
I'm gonna say asinine.
That is a little too asinine.
Yeah, a
is
little
it?
too crazy.
That'd be hell. That'd be hell on earth.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. Imagine having to do that for 5 hours. If someone's like, "We're gonna play Yahtzee for 5 hours straight,"
I'd rather play Russian roulette once.
just risk it right there.
Just risk it right there.
No questions asked.
Yahtzee.
Hey, headliner asinine Cam. As Adobe Flash stops running, so do some railroads in China.
Adobe Flash, I did hear about this. It's finally gone or on the way out to a degree or to something, which is really sad because I never learned how to use it. So I feel like I now will never learn how to use this apparently really simple thing. I have no idea. But I think it could be used for railroad things. I think like Flash videos. I can picture like a little Flash program.
I just remember it popping up all the time. Be like, "Would you like to enable Flash?" You're like, "Oh, okay, sure."
Something that would be like very simple to do, but just requires a little driver. And who knows? Even if that thing is like on and off, that could be enough to change a whole railway system in China, which they probably built in like 1462. So I'm gonna say that's a headline.
That is a headline out of the northern region of China in Dalian, where a city collapsed its railroad service for 20 hours after Adobe Flash stopped running. So this happened Tuesday that this all kind of collapsed. They finally shut it. They've been warning for like 7 years. They're like, we're going to turn it off. Be aware.
Yeah.
And like, I don't think you even had to have a computer, and they put it on a billboard. I'd be like, everyone make sure you change it. Right? We know a lot of people are using it. Well, they didn't listen. So it ceased supporting as early as 2017, and then last year they were like, we're done, that's it. And then on Tuesday they were like, okay, now we're serious, like we're actually going to turn it off. And just China, I guess, didn't get the memo. So basically they were unable to see any of the times coming in, any of the plans or like the actual like routes or anything. So a lot of problems they were running into. 20 hours later, they were able to fix it by, this is the funny part, installing a pirated version of Flash at 4:30 a.m.
Oh,
next day.
Because we couldn't quite transfer it over to Google Chrome yet. We still needed to use Adobe Flash on
so they just
our
hacked
Netscape.
Yeah.
Wow, that's funny. I like that the easier answer was to do something like to get illegal software. Like that was the easier answer. God, I wonder if there's any other train systems in the world that have gone down.
I don't know. It's notes.
Jesus Christ, Cam. You ready for your last final headline?
That's notes.
Here we go.
Pick that notes.
Tennessee law firm is offering a free divorce for Valentine's Day.
Hey, it's one way to get people in the door. Yeah, shit. Everyone's doing crazy things to get people in the doors, and I think with the divorce rate as high as it is, ever since the 70s, it's been climate. That's what they tell you. That's why me and your mama no longer with each other. Keeping up with the trends, keeping up with the kids. Yeah, I mean, you got to try some crazy shit to get people in the door. I don't think any divorce is free though. That's the only thing. What's the specific language?
Tennessee law firm is offering a free divorce for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I can't imagine anything being free. Maybe they're like, we'll give you the paperwork, but if you want to settle things, that's where it's going to cost you. It's kind of like when you see at those will places when they say, free will kit, come in here. And then you walk in, you're like, can I have that free will kit? They're like, well, do you have your life insurance planned out? You're like, well, no, what do I need?
Are you often walking into places and asking for will kits?
All the time.
Anytime you see a sign offering a free will kit, you gotta take it, baby.
Free anything? I'm jumping on it. They're like free dental whitening with this. I'm like, sure. Right? They're like, sir, well, you have 38 cavities. I'm like, I only have 26 teeth. They're like, I know, it's impressive. But yeah, everyone does crazy shit to get people in the door, and then they just, it's called the old bait and switch, Cam. It's an old sales trick. So, headline.
Cam, it's a headline here for you. And it's not quite the bait and switch, though. I think you may be a little bit confused by the headline itself. February 14th, oftentimes the excuse to celebrate with your dearest, the dearest to your heart and your loved ones, but sometimes you got to call it quits. That's why the Powers Law Firm in a small town in Tennessee that I missed the name of. Anyways, they're offering they're giving one lucky couple their free legal services, including court filing fees. So you are wrong. They are offering to do someone's divorce for free. The firm said that there are a lot of people who stay married actually just because they cannot afford a divorce. It's actually surprisingly expensive to, especially people in lower income areas. So it's only for the residents of Tennessee who are eligible for this. And if you are interested, send them an email with stories explaining why you want a divorce right now. And the winner will be selected on February 19th. However, it is weird though, like you said, Cam, it is very expensive to have a divorce. So, this kind of will end in a nice way. The law firm is just very concerned with their community. Even speaking to a couple, who have already applied, including a disabled elderly couple who've been separated for 20 years, but they're unable to afford the divorce due to their lack of income. Divorce in the state of Tennessee costs approximately $1,195 per member involved. So yeah, if you're struggling on that cash and you want to get that divorce because you've been separated for 20 years, fucking call them up. Powers Law Firm.
See, I was thinking that someone's just going to send an email with like a Pornhub link and they're like, see that man tied in the corner? That's me. See the girl there that's doing the business? That's my soon-to-be ex-wife.
I'm sure
Can
there
you
could be a
help?
lot of people doing that, Cam. I mean, I'm sure the law firm would be hesitant to click on any email with the subject line "cuck," because I think you know what you're going to get if you see that in the subject line.
Involuntary. All right. Well,
voluntary. Well, yeah, that was the whole game.
Fantastic
I think
show. That was a fantastic show too.
that was
I
3
think.
and 3, and that was
Hey, enjoy your week.
that was the length of
That was
the
great.
podcast. Thanks for listening to the show, folks. Remember to rate, review, like, and subscribe.
Subscribe.
Spotify. The podcast is on there. Apple Podcasts, YouTube.
Tell your friends. Tell one friend.
Tell a friend.
One. That's it. Just one.
We don't ask you to pay
Tell-
it forward and help 3 people who are then going
Hey,
to help 3
next
people. Just
time.
one.
Next time, you're walking and someone's like, "What are you listening to?" And you're like, "Oh, it's a podcast." They're like, "Oh, what kind of podcast do you like?" You're like, "You should check out this one called Say it with me.
Oh.
Two
C's
in
a fuck bad.
pod.
Why did you say that so oddly? On Spotify and Apple Podcasts and YouTube and Stitcher Premium or wherever you listen to your podcast. Cam, why'd you say that so slowly? You gotta say it quickly.
All right, one more time.
No, we're not. We are not doing that one more time.
All right, everyone. Well, tell a friend and never forget the national animal of Scotland is a unicorn. Tune in next week for a game of this we call this cliffhanging, Cam. The top 5 sitcom storylines.
Here we go.
I'm Cam LeClaire.
Cliffhanger.
I'm Cam LeClaire. Signing off.
Take care, folks.
Continuing tonight on 2 C's in a Pod. 96.7 on your.
Two C's in a pod, 2 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 C's in a pod, because we're 2 C's in a pod, just like 2 C's in a pod, 2 C's in a pod at gmail.com.